This is Michael Woodward, and this is Season 2, Episode 58 of the jumbleThink podcast.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the jumbleThink podcast, where we interview some of the leading entrepreneurs about their journey of turning their dreams and ideas into reality. Along the way, they'll give you some tips and ideas of how you can chase your own big ideas and dreams and change the world around you. On today's episode, I am sharing some new and exciting changes we're making to the jumbleThink podcast this fall. It's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get started. Welcome to the jumbleThink podcast. My name is Michael Woodward. I am your host, and we have an exciting episode lined up for you today. Before we dive in, I want to encourage you, wherever you like to listen to podcasts, go on over and click that subscribe button. If you are a fan of Apple Podcasts or iTunes, all you have to do is go to jumbleThink.com/iTunes. It will take you right to the app, and you can click the subscribe button. And if you happen to like Spotify, we've done the same thing, jumbleThink.com/Spotify. It will take you right to the app. Click that subscribe button and make sure that you never miss an episode of the jumbleThink podcast. Today, we're changing it up a little bit for the podcast. I'm going to give you an update on some changes we're making this fall to the jumbleThink podcast. I think you're going to love them. I'm also going to give you 3 tips to making your dream more attainable. So let's get started by talking about the jumbleThink podcast and some of the exciting changes we have in store for you. I'm excited about them. I hope you're excited about them too. In February of 2017, we started the jumbleThink podcast with a very simple goal. Tell the stories of amazing entrepreneurs, dreamers, makers, innovators, influencers who are creating, who are thinking outside the box, who are changing the world around them. Since doing that, we have interviewed over 160 guests, and we've released 2 episodes a week since February of 2017. We've been able to interview some incredible people, founders of maker spaces and co-working spaces, illustrators that are reimagining beloved characters, TV stars, whether they were writers, the stars in the shows themselves, or the inspiration for the shows, Olympic athletes. We've also talked to CEOs and founders of startups. And that's only the tip of some of the guests that we've had on. Now we want to get back to where we started. We want to interview those people who are truly innovating, who are creating, who are out there starting new startups, who are reimagining new solutions to old problems, people who are sharing messages that are changing cultures and civilization. To do this better, we're changing some of the things we are doing a little bit. One of the big changes is that we're going to have 1 guest episode a week. That episode will still probably be around 45 minutes to an hour, although some episodes may go longer. As we evolve these changes, we are going to start doing more and more of these episodes in video format too, so that when we get to meet that entrepreneur, that innovator, that influencer face to face, we can tell their story not only with audio, but also with video. To start out, not all episodes are going to have the video format as an additional format, but we're going to shoot for sometime in 2019 to make all of those episodes video format so you can see our amazing guests and get to hear and see their stories. Now, if we're only doing 1 guest episode a week, what happens to the second episode that typically is a guest episode? For a while now, we've been trying a new format where I give a topical episode that is really rubber meets the road, meat and potatoes. This is how you turn an idea and dream into reality. So what we're going to do is in that second episode that week, we're going to do a shorter episode, usually between 10 and 20 minutes long, where it's very, very hyper-focused and turning dreams and ideas into reality. Sometimes we might have an expert be a part of that episode. Sometimes it's just going to be me sharing on it, but it's going to be topical. It's going to be something you can apply to your life right now and begin that journey of making your dreams and ideas a reality. Typically, we release 2 episodes a week on Mondays and Thursdays, but we're changing that. Mondays will be our guest episode, and Fridays will be our new topical episode. So that's the new news with the jumbleThink podcast, but there's a little bit more that we have to share with you today, and super excited to share about it. You may have been listening to this and going, well, I love your format. I love that you get to have 2 guests a week. I love consuming their stories and hearing their interviews and learning about their life. Well, we have more guests coming to you in a new format we're calling the B-side. Now, if you listen to old school vinyl records, you know the B-side is often where you find some of the greatest hits, but it's also where you get some more experimental songs, get more unique textures that is a little outside of the typical sound you would get from that musician. The B-side allows us to do that. Here's the deal. We have a lot of guests that come to us and say, we would love to be on your podcast. And they aren't really truly a good fit for jumbleThink. But the B-side is going to allow them to be here, to share their stories and give so many amazing insights. The B-side is going to be a little bit different than the jumbleThink podcast. Instead of the long format, about an hour or more, these episodes are going to be 15 to 20 minutes long. The other thing that's really cool and unique that we're doing here is we're going to start them out as Facebook Lives. So you're going to be able to jump in and be a part of that story. You're going to be able to ask your questions, to hear the answers you want directly from the guests that we're having. Once the Facebook Live happens, we're going to turn these episodes into video on YouTube and also a typical audio podcast that you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and everywhere else you like to listen to podcasts. So the B-side's going to be, we're going to start out one episode a week, but these are going to expand really quickly. So there may be some weeks where we release more episodes than one, maybe 2 or 3 or 5. But this is a great way for us to bring in the voice of up-and-coming entrepreneurs or coaches or marketing experts that don't really fit our typical jumbleThink episode, or people that maybe want to do something a little different and tell us about their journey and get some help along the way themselves. So we're going to try all kinds of cool stuff with it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the other thing that's really cool is because it's 15 to 20 minutes, it will fit into the average person's commute. It will fit into their workout routine. And it will be a little bit more tangible for those people who don't have the time or the focus maybe to listen to a full 45 minutes, hour and a half episode. So we're excited about this new format, the B-side, because it gets you involved in the interview, because it allows you to see these incredible people, and it gets us an opportunity to experiment with new ideas and try things out and do something fun. So when is this all starting? Well, it's going to start at the end of September, early October. We have a lot of incredible guests lined up for the next couple weeks. So you're going to get those 2 interviews a week, and then we're going to start every episode sharing a little bit more about how you can connect with the B-side, how you can find it, how you can become part of those Facebook Lives, and when those are going to happen. We're going to be doing some really cool stuff with that. So keep tuned in so you can learn more about that. Now, we've shared about the changes to the jumbleThink podcast and the exciting launch of the B-side of the jumbleThink podcast, but there's a little bit more yet. We want to connect with you more in the social realms. And specifically, we want to connect with you on Instagram. We're going to be doing a lot more proactive, sharing tips, walking through that journey of turning ideas into dreams. So swing on over to Instagram, look for jumbleThink, and follow us. We'll follow you back, and we can start to have that collaboration, to have that communication where we can partner together in making dreams and ideas a reality. And as I mentioned with the B-side, we're going to be doing a lot of Facebook Lives, so make sure you follow us over at Facebook, facebook.com/jumbleThink, or just search for us at jumbleThink. Follow us, become part of the conversation, and join into those Facebook Lives to be part of the bigger picture of what we're building at jumbleThink. In a moment, we'll be right back with 3 tips for making your dreams and ideas a reality. One of the passions of jumbleThink is to help you make your dreams and ideas a reality. One of the ways we do that is through this podcast, and now, excitingly, through the B-side. But there is another way. We release free guides on how to make your dreams a reality. Currently, we have 2 on our website, Overcoming the Unknown and How to Know When You Found Your Dream. All you have to do to download these free guides is swing on over to jumblethink.com/guide. That's jumblethink.com/guide, and you can download your free guides. In a moment, we'll be back with 3 tips to make your dream a reality. I hope you are as excited about the changes at jumbleThink as we are, but we didn't want to just give you an update on jumbleThink. We also wanted to give you some tips and tools that you can use right now, today, to start that journey of making your dreams and ideas a reality. So here are our 3 tips for today for turning your dreams into a reality. Tip number 1 is to write it down. Now, we've interviewed lots and lots and lots of idea makers, dreamers, those entrepreneurs doing something incredible. And often they say that one of the biggest tips that they give people who want to see their dreams become a reality is write it down. Now, that's a great idea, but how do you do that? What does that mean? What does that look like? The first thing you need to do is write down the dream or idea. Give it a title. Make it very short. Here's an example. So your title for your dream might be something like start a guitar building company. Very simple, very easy. It's just a couple words long, and it really gives a foundation of what that dream and idea is. But you don't want to stop there. You want to go a little bit deeper. Begin to write a description. What does it mean to build a guitar company? Oh, I want to build acoustic guitars. Well, you've just narrowed that down a little bit more, and you've gotten more specific. I want to use only woods that are natural to the region in which I live. And that makes it a little bit more narrow. And you want to give that a picture. You want to paint a picture with the words that you're writing in that description. But then go one step further. Write a list of 10. This comes from James Altucher. I love it. It's one of my favorite tips he gives. And that's write a list of 10 ways that you can make that dream a reality. 10 obstacles that you need to overcome. 10 people you can reach out to for help in starting this idea. You can make as many lists of 10 as you want, but what they do is help you process that idea and make it more tangible, because the more bite-sized your idea is, the more likely you are to make it a reality. It's easy to get lost in the vastness of ideas. What you need to do is narrow down, get specific, and then you can really make that dream a reality. Tip number 2, we hear this. If we don't hear write it down, it's usually find a mentor or coach or someone that's done what you've wanted to do. Now, why is this important? Having a guide, having a sage on your journey of turning ideas into reality is so powerful, because they can give you shortcuts, they can give you insights, they can give you encouragement when you've hit that hard time. They can walk you through solutions when you feel like you have a foggy clarity on what the next step you should take and what that looks like. So finding that coach, finding that mentor can help you on that journey. But how do you find that mentor or coach? Well, there's a couple ways. One thing you can do is go and write a list of people that you look up to in the industry you want to get involved in. And if you have an industry where it's completely new, then maybe find people that are in the same sphere. If you want to do a tech startup, maybe find a founder of a tech company, and then begin to write them emails or letters or call their office and find out the best way to contact them and say, hey, can I sit down with you? I'd like to start learning from you. So that's one way you can find that coach and mentors. Find people in your industry or space and learn from them. Another way is to find a professional coach or mentor. And that's something that jumbleThink does. We want to help more people. So we would love to talk to you if you want some help on that journey. But there are tons of other coaches, other mentors that you can reach out to, or consultants for that matter, who can help you in that processing phase of turning that idea into a dream. They can walk through the different seasons of iteration through that dream and making it a reality, turning that idea from a concept into a tangible product or service. So you can do a simple search for coaches or consultants and find people that are tailored to what you do. There are consultants and coaches out there that only work with people who want to start with restaurants. Or there's coaches and mentors out there for people who want to be coaches and mentors. There are coaches and mentors out there for tech startups. There are thousands of coaches that you can find, but find the one that's right for you. And more importantly, find one that can help you through this process. And finally, tip number 3 today is do micro experiments. Often dreams and ideas die because we try to go big too early. You need to break it down to bite-sized experiments, little experiments. More importantly, make these micro experiments lots of fun and make them so that if you fail, it's okay. And if you succeed, it's okay. But these are only stepping stones, one step at a time, to make those dreams and ideas a reality. These micro experiments should be something that takes maybe a day or half a day or an hour, maybe a week to do, and you can fit them into your current schedule around your current life and really begin to try out the idea that you have. You may find that you love the idea. You may find that you don't have a good idea of the idea, but you'll learn a lot about what you need to learn, how you need to grow, and the challenges you're going to face in making this idea and dream a reality. So our 3 tips today, kind of recapping all of that, is number 1, write it down. So important. It's one of the most critical steps, and people don't do it. They need to do it. Number 2, find a mentor or coach to walk on this journey with you. And number 3, micro experiment, make it fun, make it all about learning. And in that process, you're going to begin to see those dreams and ideas become a reality. There are so many things you can do to move those ideas and dreams to the next stage, past where you currently are, from your head and into the real world. Now it's up to you. It's never too late to start a dream or idea, whether you're in your 20s or your 30s or your 90s. You are significant. You have purpose. You have a dream and a destiny that you were created to live. And turning those ideas and dreams into reality is part of it. There is no such thing as a small dream. There is no such thing as a dream that's too big. There is, however, a thing called your dream and your created purpose. So get out there, take those little steps, those 3 tips today, and begin to make that journey of turning a dream, turning an idea from the intangible concept and into a true world-changing thing. Thanks so much for tuning into the jumbleThink podcast. It means the world to us that you would listen. I hope that you're as excited as we are about the new things we're doing at jumbleThink and the launching of the B-side. We look forward to connecting with you more through Facebook and Instagram. Next week, we have some incredible episodes lined up, so make sure you go on over to wherever you like to listen to podcasts, click that subscribe button, and let's really continue the conversation past the podcast and into creating lives that impact and change the world through the dreams and destinies that we can live.
Vous êtes une autre personne. Les mères de famille, les enfants peuvent également prendre un moment revitalisant dans quelques mois. Lorsque vous aurez bien saisi la technique et que vous serez maître de votre corps, vous pourrez vous décontracter même en travaillant.